St. Lucia's aim of moving towards a regionally aligned, decriminalized cannabis regime serves to be a premier moment for Caribbean history, as the region has long had a tumultuous relationship with cannabis use and the stigmatization placed on the Rastafarian community. This long and multifaceted lineage, which has resulted in the current pro-cannabis policy, has not gone unnoticed by the current president for the Iyanola Council for the Advancement of Rastafari, as he approves of St. Lucia's smooth transition into this legal framework. Despite this, however, Aaron Alexander harbors a few criticisms regarding the island's slow implementation of the initiative.
So we really need to get a foot ahead when it comes to the cannabis industry and to ensure that St. Lucia reap the maximum benefits. So the legislators and the legislation has to really be sped up, and we can't waste no more time because a lot of countries are moving full speed ahead. Just recently we heard that even Germany has legalized for recreational use, and that is something that is not being entertained by any of the Caribbean leaders and the Caribbean countries when it comes to recreational use. They rather, I would say, disguise it as personal use, So nonetheless, it still comes to the same thing, but we need to recognize that cannabis is something that could be used recreationally, and we have to ensure we have the proper guidelines in place, especially to protect our youth and so on, because we all know there are adverse effects to cannabis. We cannot just give a carte blanche approval and say, well, cannabis is all good and sing the praises. Everything has its side effects, so we have to ensure that we protect the vulnerable and put things in place, to speed up the process. It's lagging too much.
Alexander pointed out the striking irony in the current widespread acceptance of medicinal cannabis, a stark contrast to past attitudes. This substance, once used as a tool to stigmatize and condemn the Rastafarian community, is now being embraced for its therapeutic benefits.
It's ironic that over 50 years the Rastafari community have been telling the world about the medicinal values and benefits of cannabis. And nobody really used to take it on, and how Rastafari have been marginalized and Rastafari have been brutalized and criminalized even for the use of cannabis. So we're glad that the world is waking up to the realization that there are medicinal properties to cannabis, and it is our sacrament, as everyone knows, and our whole community, our whole movement was criminalized because of our association with cannabis. So medicinal cannabis is something we approve. We also approve the sacramental use of cannabis. We think that there is that aspect of it, especially from the Rastafari perspective. And we need to ensure that the people who were brutalized and criminalized and the people who suffered the brunt of the prohibition law are the people that will benefit the most, and that is definitely the Rastafari community. So it is our time as Rastafari people, and we must take a stance and ensure that our voices are heard and our rights are protected.
Despite these discrepancies, however, the president of ICAR expressed his satisfaction with the few accommodations and inclusive efforts displayed by our government to include Rastafarians in the pro-cannabis discussions.
At this stage, yes, I would say yes. We've been involved in the process at every stage. We've been invited to have a seat at the table at every stage. We are even given some sort of preferential treatment when it comes to having representation on different boards, the task force and so on. In some cases, we have 2 and 3 reps on that. So we think that we've had adequate representation on the different levels. So we wanted to continue. We believe that when it comes to the issue of cannabis, we deserve a seat at the table. We've gone through our blood, sweat and tears to see that happen, and we're going to continue to advocate so we could have a seat at the table at all levels.
St. Lucia's pro-cannabis strides have not gone unnoticed by the Rastafarian community, as ICAR's president lauds the regional trend towards decriminalization. Alexander also emphasizes the necessity for ongoing improvements to ensure that these policies fully meet the community's needs and potential. For Choice News Now, this is Obi Offor reporting.